Yeah. As we do have a couple of other updates. Looks like Hurricane did 2-0 Demi, so Demi was playing out his series, an incredibly long series. Um, Interesting.
Nodding along, and goes on to 2-0 Zaun as well. We're on to face the winner of Trap versus Kiwion. We do also see Cure beating Chance 2-0. We'll be facing Special in the lower bracket quarterfinals.
Yeah. Again, we've gotten that point where all of these series are just amazing. Like, I would love to cast all of them. I hope they're all being covered by different English broadcasts. And, mate, let's get this underway.
Alrighty then, here we have it. Over, gonna be spawning in onto Def Aura LE. Typically when you say Def Aura, I'm thinking radiation. It might not be. It could be like that sort of passive effect that you can get in RPGs like Divinity and whatnot. And then you can also resist the Def Aura. But yeah, that's either here or there. Here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we in fact have a Red Z coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is the one known to bless the rains. He is the most fashionable player in all of StarCraft 2. We have, representing Afrika Freaks, Armani.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the Korean Terran player, also representing Afrika TV, the Afrika Freaks. It is TY.
We'll see how, we'll see how much that DU sort of, or Team Rookie influence is gonna go. And that's definitely something funny to think about, right? That TY is the latest addition, or the newest addition to Afrika Freaks.
Yeah, definitely, and it's really cool. I guess a little bit unfortunate that they do face each other, but it is cool that Afrika Freaks, they're back. They're investing in StarCraft. They've got actually a pretty decent roster. Yeah, it's really cool to see. Like, after, I don't know if you remember this, but Afrika Freaks used to be a more prominent team back when Pro League was a thing. And then after Pro League ended,
well,
like they let go of a bunch of...
I believe, didn't they rebrand in 2016? They rebranded two Afrika Freaks from, I want to say StarTale, or was it Spin?
No. So, Afrika Freaks, they stepped up, and after Spenu disbanded, they picked up a bunch of the players that had left Spenu, because Spenu disbanded.
Oh, okay.
And Afrika Freaks became one of the new Pro League teams, because they needed another team.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, that was when they started. And then, of course, after Pro League ended, then a bunch of they basically terminated their roster for the most part. And, yeah, now they're back.
Exactly, yeah. I imagine you can thank Ompung for having a bit of a hand there.
Yeah.
Or maybe Mrs. or CEO CO, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he loves StarCraft. It's great to always see him in the GSL finals. He's got a lot of passion, and yeah, I'm just really curious to see how this plays out. You know, this isn't the first time we've seen TY here on Death Aura, and we already have him being a little bit cheeky.
I like it. He looks to be setting up this sort of Hellion drop, but for now, we'll see how this sort of plays out. TY is trying to sort of bamboozle Armani in a way, being like, no, I'm moving in with the Hellions standard. And Armani doesn't see the proxy.
Yeah, so he's going to be wanting to lift up these Hellions and go into the main base, and oh god, there's nothing here to spot it.
No, there is not. This Overlord is far too off. And here come the Hellions. Here comes the barbecue light. Already there are a couple of Zerglings in position to sort of block these Hellions from getting those juicy connections that they want. Actually, pretty nicely done. Only 3 drones go down.
Like, it could have been a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse happen in the previous game that we casted. So far, even though it did go unscouted, only 3 workers went down.
But it is not going to be the end of it here, Light. Not by a long shot. An Armory is already being produced right now for TY. Looking to really commit to these sort of Hellbats, and a Liberator is going home?
Oh, interesting. I don't know if that was a mistake, a misrally, but yeah, the Liberator does go home and doesn't go across the map instead, so kind of interesting.
I think TY saw the roaches.
Okay.
Saw the roaches, realized, yeah, there's probably not going to be any, yep, look at that bunker. Yeah, so TY was just preparing for the roaches back at home, knew that he had to defend a sort of counterattack, quote unquote. And you know, it's funny, Hellions don't really do too well against roaches, but we have seen that if you have enough of them, you can try to pick them off one by one.
Yeah, and at the moment, the Hellions, their only goal is to buy time so that the more Liberator shots do go through, but he's forced to lift up his Liberator, is forced back to the safety of his wall, and yeah, behind this, Armani, he's droning up, so he's not committing too much to this attack.
Yeah, actually might be able to do quite a bit of damage done here, and at the very least contain TY for quite some time. Of course, that will depend on how scared TY decides to play this out. Beautiful Biles hit. Takes out an SCV and manages to one-shot the supply depot as well as the bunker. There are now tanks and Liberators that Armani's going to have to worry about, but again, he's not committing to this at all. He's just trying to contain TY as much as he can.
Yeah, his only goal is containment right now as he does go for more and more Biles. He does snipe that Liberator as well, and yeah, he backs off, you know, which is a good call since TY is going for a drop at the same time.
Yeah, utilizing those Hellions that he made early on, as well as his medevac that really doesn't need to be at home to defend. It can help with the bio, but yeah, he just does not have a lot of bio there.
Yeah, as he is trying to pull his opponent back home, and you know, Armani, he's already here, he's ready for this.
Yeah, that indeed he is. TY is not going to take a risk here. Does not want to try to take that. Does not want to try to march into that mineral line. Apoptosis, thank you very much for the raid, pal.
Thank you so much, Apop. Really appreciate it. Jesus Christ. As we are, for the people tuning in, we are casting ESL Open Cup Asia, TY versus Armani. This is a fresh series. We just watched TY take out Silky in an insane series 2-0, and now it's Armani's turn to see if he can take down the latest GSL champion. And you know, so far so good. I will say that because of the opener, Armani, like, his creep spread has much to be desired. He just didn't have that many queens because he's focused so much of his minerals on his roaches. So he's only just now, you know, getting out of his third base with that.
But is he gonna be able to snowball this? Like, he's extending two tumors at a time, right? And then just adding on 2 more. Eventually, it's gonna be like a Hydra, or not a Hydra, but the other one.
A Hydra?
Maybe.
Maybe. And again, like, I love how Armani, he's been able to defend against these drops. Like, TY, he keeps trying to go in with these Hellions and he just hasn't found any damage.
Yeah, this is a lot of what TY is sort of hinging on right now, to be able to sort of keep the economy of Armani back as much as possible. To be fair, TY, he himself is macroing up pretty dang hard. His third base already saturated, should be, yep, they're starting to get a 4cc up. But this is a little bit going off a plan here for TY.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, despite the opener, despite the heavy Roach Ravager opener, I do love that TY, he is already working his way towards those Widow Mines. He's already getting Drilling Claws as well. That's going to help so much against the oncoming Ling Bane Muta coming out from Armani.
It definitely will. He's seen exactly what his opponent's going for, and he is adapting in kind. Do you see Drilling Claws coming up? Yep. And we're about to see a clash here coming out, Light, and I think I want to favor TY.
Yeah, at least, like, defensively, I want to say TY, he's set up so beautifully. Like, he has all those tanks, those Widow Mines as well. Thors are on the way, but Armani, he's not looking to. You know, he's just, like, trying to gain map control. Yeah, he's clearing up all the rocks, focusing up on his creep spread, his tech, infestation pits on the way, all the upgrades as well. So I feel like it's kind of on TY to try and do something. We do see him finally taking his 4th base.
Yeah, we'll be able to secure that as well. Something interesting happened here, which we weren't around to see. I want to say a quick little run by. But yeah, gonna be securing that with a planetary fortress, and this is what TY loves to do in TvZ. He loves to just set up his sort of defensive line as much as he can before going for a lot of drops to force his opponent into him.
Yeah, and a nice scan there. He actually did see the main base of Armani. He did spot that the hive was only just being morphed in, so he does have a good idea of, you know, where the tech is for Armani. So yeah, honestly, he's looking pretty good.
That's, yeah, definitely one way to describe it. Look at that, TY even trying to sort of send out a couple of scouts out just to see exactly what he's dealing with. Now, this is a location that Armani can absolutely abuse, though, as the defenses, they have been set up somewhere else. They do take a little bit of time to get in. A lot of these Banelings are moving in off creep, and they immediately get taken out before they can connect to anything.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a foot. This is kind of the step up that TY really needed.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Armani, he tried to push up that ramp, and we saw all those Banelings go down, and he didn't really get much value at all out of that.
It almost looked like he manually detonated them.
Yeah, that was really interesting to see. I think maybe the tank shots went off on them as well. Yeah, and they just didn't connect with anything at all, so TY just defends beautifully.
He does. Another beautiful flank coming out from the Marines. The Mutalists do manage to get quite a number of workers here, though, amidst all the chaos, and Armani is gearing up for round 2. He is setting up his lings. We should be seeing some Banelings coming up from these as well. I don't think any roaches coming out, but Armani is just focused entirely on that good old Lingbane Muta.
Yeah, he's trying to keep TY's attention with the Mutalists, but their armies do clash here. Oh, they all crash into the Thors!
Well, then. Unfortunately, this isn't the age of Nest T, and Banelings crashing into Thors aren't quite what they used to be. And that, again, that might just be enough momentum for TY. He is starting to turn back. He realizes that there's a lot of supply now coalescing for Armani, that he can't fight with this drop, but we should be seeing a move out pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm honestly really surprised he turned around after he killed all those Banelings. Like, there was definitely a window there where he could have just kept going. I don't know if you noticed, but Armani was pulling everything he had to try and help out because he only had a handful of Ravagers. But again, like, we can see everything TY can't. He didn't know that opportunity was there for him. So Armani does hold for now, and all this tank is exposed.
He is also getting ready for a multi-prong, though, which is something that I like to see. The tank does get taken out. Where's the repair? Light, where's the repair?
Oh God, he goes down!
Owie. Alright. Yeah, that does go down. Meanwhile, we do see a drop from TY. Also gets taken out by the Lings and the Banelings. And
oh my God.
TY, he was looking at such an advantage earlier on. Now he's kind of lost that. He does still have a much better army, but yeah, he cannot take as many risks as he could have a couple of minutes ago.
Definitely, like, his economy is hurting, and we do see on the right-hand side, Armani's army is looking to engage with that of TY.
And TY tried to find the high ground there, but Armani went right on in, realizes I'm way too far off creep right now. I'm just gonna back away. I traded pretty well there.
Yeah, and this is where we find out that that really was a big brain play. All those Banelings earlier that crashed into the third base actually detonated on the CC, so Armani could snipe it later.
Exactly.
It was all planned.
I know he's not gonna repair. Which, to be fair, Terran players, myself included, we typically don't repair unless it's burning.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, TY was
really
pushing to the south, so like his attention was elsewhere at the same time, and it looks like there may be enough here. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, pretty good split, but when you have that many Banelings and Lings, it really doesn't matter how much you do split.
Meanwhile, to the south side, there are no Banelings here, so it looks like the hatchery is going to be focused down.
For now, the Widowmimes do get a lot of friendly fire there, and the Mutalists are enough to clear out everything else. Armani trying to go for this planetary, but now, once again, not quite that connection that he wanted to get on that planetary. Just not quite enough Banelings there.
And with that, Armani, he does lose the hatchery. He holds to the right-hand side, and he's finally got his Ultralists out. You know, he's working on those upgrades. He has that Hive tech, but his army's a little bit out of position. TY, he's here on the right-hand side.
He is, and are we going to see a bit of a base trade here, Light? I don't think so. TY has a lot of reinforcements coming in. Defender's advantage just favors TY a bit more than it favors Armani.
Definitely, and I don't know if this is the right call for Armani. Armani, he just lost the hat-trick to the right-hand side, but he's actually dealing some decent damage here with these Banelings.
Yeah, he's actually forcing the issue and doing it pretty dang well.
Yeah, like he's getting on top of the production as well. Like
Forces
these
TY back.
Banelings, yeah, he forces TY back, and in the end, Armani is actually coming out on top here. Look at the supplies.
Look at the... There's a lot of infrastructure here as well that Armani can really... This is the heart of TY's base, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Armani's right there.
He's on top of the production, and right now, TY, he will go all the way back home. He will defend, but at the same time, Armani, he is hitting the right-hand side with his army. There it is.
GG. Armani takes game number 1.
Wow. GG. Well played. Armani does what Silky couldn't. He takes the first game from TY.
That he does, and potentially might take the second game as well.
Yeah, we could, like, we were talking about the hype around TY. For those who were wondering, this is TY's first appearance in ESL Open Cup Asia. Like, this is his debut. He hasn't played in this before. We were thinking, hey, maybe this is the time for TY to come out and walk his royal road and just come out with his first tournament and take the win. But he's already down against his teammate, Armani. Looking so good today.
Yes, we were talking about hype killers, man, but would it really be unhype if Armani takes out TY here?
I mean, we've seen Armani just perform so well on this channel. Like, we've seen him, like, week after week, like, take out players like Stats, take out players like Solar, Zest. Like, he's relatively inconsistent. Like, you know, he hasn't established himself as one of the best Zerg players like Solar or Rogue, but, you know, he's getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just throughout 2019 and 2020. I mean, I throw out the old mantra, right? I'm a cranky duckling, so I must cast Armani. But yeah, we have definitely seen Armani improve steadily over time, and it's gonna be... I think we're about to see fairly soon his big breakout. But until then, we're gonna have to settle for spawning in onto Golden Wall LE, the wall. That is kind of gold-ish. It's kind of more like pyrite. In the right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the right-hand corner of this map, we do in fact have a red Zerg player coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is the most fashionable player in all of StarCraft 2, and I got a question for you, like, are you free?
Down in Africa.
We have, representing a freak of freaks, Armani. Using a Protoss decal now that I notice.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Golden Wall LE, we have his teammate also raining down in a freak of freaks. He is the Korean Terran player. He is TY.
Highest rated caster when it comes to what's it called? Premier
yeah, and
titles.
He may also be, like, I haven't looked at the EPT rankings for Korea, but since he did win GSL, like, he could be the highest rated player at the moment based on the EPT points.
I actually checked that a while ago. I believe Rogue is at the highest for Korea right now.
Because of IEM.
IEM, yeah.
Yeah, true.
TY has secured a seed for next year's IEM Katowice, though.
Yeah, so that's really exciting to see. And yeah, like, for those of you who maybe don't watch Korean StarCraft, TY is the most recent GSL champion, and as a result, he did get seeded into the next round of GSL, which is why you may not have seen him in recent weeks. And yeah, that's also why it's so much more impressive that we see Armani already up 1-0.
Yeah, I'm nodding along there. You will see TY in about a month from now, though.
Yeah, he will be playing in Season 2 of GSL. Meanwhile, as that Reaper is, you know, trying to get some damage done, trying to... Oh, does get a Ling.
Does get a second Ling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, alright. And I say this every single time... Yeah, I say this every single time we cast this. You know, I'm surprised that Golden Wall made it through the vetoes.
I'm surprised Armani hasn't gone for the gold.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's not as crazy as Ragnarok. I know we do compare them quite often, but yeah, doesn't go for that gold. I also did want to remind the viewers, because I know we did get a big raid from Apop. Apop this. Of course, there are 2 English streams today. Rifkin was casting earlier, but it looks like he has since stopped. So we are covering this series. Wardy is casting Stats versus Solar. Unfortunately, I was talking about it earlier, and I saw people asking about it. No one was casting Special versus Cure. Even mid-series, I was checking all the other language streams. No one was casting that TvT, which is so unfortunate. I was hoping that Base Trade was going to cover that, but it looks like they stopped streaming, so it's honestly a bit of a shame. That would have been an amazing TvT.
What can you do? Yeah, it would definitely be quite a bit of a TvT there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Like, it's difficult because there are only 2 English streams, so like we can't cover everything.
Yeah. But we'll try.
We'll try. We'll definitely try.
Like TY. See, I looped it all the way back in. Got that rhyme and the players. So speaking of the players, TY not going for the breaking a little bit from his sort of pattern. We did see TY, you know, he went for this sort of standard Hellion sort of play and then went into more of a fusion core style. This time he's not going for that drop, but he is going to go for that Liberator. So it's not too late to get the fusion core in lib range, but
he's actually playing this very greedy. I think this is the greediest we've seen him play, where he went 1-1-1 straight into CC, whereas typically we've seen him do 1-1-1 into BCs.
He actually went 3 CC before Starport.
Yeah, like, he's being very economic this game. I think the most we've seen him today is so really interesting to see. And I mean, to be fair, you can get away with it on this map because unless you mine out the south side, like, you know, you can kind of safely expand there.
That you can. You can also decide to go for this gold base, which, yeah, we'll see if T-Bar goes for that or not. Is he going to be as crazy as Ragnarok?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he opts to go for. It looks like, he's going for it.
That he is. This can be a little bit of a pain to defend if you aren't, you know, if you aren't careful. Do you have to be aware of, you know, your opponent going from behind the wall to snipe, to take out your workers, or, you know, just going from the front, going for a bit of that multi-prong. But I kind of have faith in TY in that regard. Definitely feels like he knows. If there's any player who knows how to defend, it's TY.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, like, he has been relatively passive. Like, because of his opener, he's only had a couple of Hellions out here on the map. So Armani, he has been able to macro up. He's working, you know, he's got double Evos on the way. He's got a macro hatch on the way as well. This time, I believe he did completely skip Roach Ravager. He's just going straight into Ling Bane. And yeah,
Did they just have a gentleman's agreement here?
I guess so. They're like, you know what? Let's just macro up. You know, let's keep this civil, keep this, you know, above the belt. You know, nothing crazy, and yeah, all right.
Well, we do sort of see a little bit of action here. We've mostly just creep clearing, but that's definitely something when the styles are as passive as this, it can be something that has quite a bit of a knock-on effect. Especially if Armani didn't see this coming. He did see the army move out, and he does see that there's a hole in the wall. But how does he react to this?
Interesting. What is TY, he's going to be sieging up on the outside of his main base, and with these medevacs he's going to be able to elevate her into the main as well. This is going to be annoying to deal with.
Absolutely. Push has come to shove here, and the Banelings are not out yet. The Spire is just completed. This is going to take quite some time for Armani to really be able to defend this, and now TY is right in the heart of Armani's economy. There are a lot of units, but guess what, Light? These Zerglings are not going to be able to surround these tanks. Should be seeing a hop pickup pretty soon. Not quite! TY, unfortunately, unable to lift out, get away with most of his units there. It's away with less than half, but the tank, it's still there. It's still rating damage, but now the Mutalisks are out. Time might have just run out here for TY.
Exactly, time being the other Terran player, and because of that bailing hit, like there aren't that many Marines to ward off these mutalisks, so they could end up dealing with these tanks in the end. And
TY's committing to it. Oh no, but a mule!
Ooh, the mule does get taken out.
I like how TY was trying to mine that out from the inside.
Yeah. That was great. But this should eventually be cleaned up. Ooh, but the reinforcements though.
They are on the way. Armani being a little bit passive right now. The mule is now on the correct side of the wall and should be able to come out.
Oh.
They might have been able to take out these reinforcements, but a very quick reaction from TY.
Yeah, and I love this. Armani, he did spot the reinforcements, so he knows that this push is gonna get like stronger and stronger. Surprisingly, like he isn't really getting in position to deal with this though. He's going for a counterattack instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Armani splitting up his forces like this. There is way too many tanks out here, and medevac did get taken out, so there's definitely something for Armani. There's only one with very low energy right now. Even that gets taken out, but this is such a secure position for TY to fight in. Armani cannot waver for even a second. He cannot overextend, because otherwise his army is going to be taken the F out by these tanks.
Oh my god, and the Banelings, they just kept getting shelled away out by those tanks, and it looks like TY just has too much here. Without proper reinforcements, like this main is gonna go down.
Ground army is gone. There's not a lot of Marines here to really contest against the Mutalists though, but here comes the third wave.
Yeah, the
fresh
reinforcements
medevacs are here.
Yeah,
and look at this wall. Armani didn't even realize there was a gold base, but now it might be too late. There's just not any Zerglings to really fight this. The SCVs can try to take them out, and I think we're about to see...
He does push into the main base as well. The hatchery is getting really low. Armani has mustered up a little bit of defense here, but oh god, he just has so few Banelings.
That tank position, man, that is just so hard for a Zerg player to break there.
Yeah, and exactly, and he's gonna try. He's trying to commit to this, but every single time he just loses so many Banes for free to those tank shots.
Indeed, he is. This is such a delicate dance right now. I kind of feel you kind of got to feel for Armani here. Armani cannot overextend even once, but if he just hangs back, this hatchery, yup, there it goes.
Yeah, the hatchery goes down. To be fair, Armani has been expanding to the north, and something important to note is that that massive run by, it actually stopped at where it would be a regular third base location, and that's where it was for a good couple of minutes before he realized it wasn't doing anything, and then he tried to go into the natural. He didn't even think about going to the gold base, so yeah, those things, that was just wasted supply for the longest time as this push was happening. We'll see. Oh, it looks like he may deal with this.
Maybe, but nope, not quite enough. Mutalists could have tried to do something with the tanks, but there's when you have this amount of Marines out, you do not want to take that risk. There is a run by though coming into the natural base of TY, and it's actually doing quite a lot of damage. Yeah.
This is too much damage. 27 SCVs have gone down, but at the same time, the army is out of position for Armani. It isn't at the north to defend his most recent base.
What is it that Seal calls this? A base trade without the trade? Yeah, it's still kind of a trade, but yeah, not at all in Armani's favor. The Bailing Nest gets taken out. The spawning pool is gonna have to be rebuilt. I do not see Armani coming back here. Yeah, unless TY really has a lapse in focus.
He has a decent realist count, and he may be able to clean this up, but there it is.
TY gonna be taking it to the ace match.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like Armani was very stubborn in that game. I was very surprised that he never tried to attack the army from the other side. Like, he never sent any lings or anything to try and go to the other side of the wall. It was very surprising, to be honest, that he was, you know, he's very adamant. I will counterattack and I will fight you head on instead of trying to surround the army. It was yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the standard sort of response though, right? When, you know, the Terran player is right up in your face, they have such a good siege position, you really need to buy yourself a lot of time to muster up enough forces or wait for the Terran player to, you know, go out of position for a bit. So what do you do in the meantime with what is usually dead supply? Try to go get some economic damage done, try to get some harassment, and, you know, get yourself on more even footing. But in this case, that was not quite what you want to do.
Yeah, and there are even people pointing it out in chat, and I definitely agree that Armani, he had to decide to counterattack, sack the base, or surround the army, and he didn't do any of those things. He didn't commit to any of those options, and because of that, he suffered.
I know that feeling way too well, and I'm like, no, I don't have to make a sacrifice here. I can hold this. Usually not the case.
As it does seem like now that Wardy is joining us, Stats versus Solar did finish up. I'm not too sure.
Cure versus Special. Cure winning that 2-0.
Yes, I'm not too sure who won between Stats and Solar. The website hasn't been updated, but it does seem like that did finish up.
And speaking of finishing up, here we are then. We're gonna find out now how this series is gonna finish up, where we're gonna be ending it where else, Light, than on Eternal Empire Ile, where in the top right hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right hand corner of the map, we do in fact have our red Zerg player coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is the one to bless the reins, and I got a question for you, Light. How do I make this more of a smooth sort of transition? Are you free?
Africa.
Representing Africa Freaks. I kind of forgot where I was at. The most fashionable player in StarCraft 2. It is Armani.
Sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have his opponents, his teammates, as well as his countrymen. We have representing Africa Freaks, it is TY.
One. Or should that be 1-1, seeing as how it is TY?
Maybe if Special 1-1? didn't get taken out. If you didn't hear earlier, Cure did take out Special in the lower half of the bracket.
You know what that means, so like... Oh, go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say, that means that Cure is waiting in the semis.
You know what that means, so light?
What does that mean?
You have the potential for a TY Cure rematch.
It does. The dream is still
opposite. They are on the opposite ends of the bracket, though. They will have to make it through the semifinals, but if they can, or if they do, rather.
I also have to apologize to Dream, as Dream is not still alive. He did get knocked out earlier.
Yeah, apologize to Alive as well. He is in the military.
Yeah. You gotta watch your wording here in Korean tournaments. It's rip.
I was gonna try to make a joke of like wording and wardy, but I couldn't. I couldn't get it to. They sound too different. Yeah.
It's a bit of a stretch, but
yeah.
So far, there's I'm a little bit surprised. Armani, he actually made 6-lings instead of the usual 4 to try and take this expansion.
Yeah, he's actually playing very defensively right now, not going for a Ling Scout. Sending 1 Ling out now, but yeah, it's a little bit late. I'm guessing, they are teammates. TY is known for trying a couple of cheeky things on Eternal Empire, so you can kind of see why Armani is playing it this defensively, though.
I guess I have to assume that the 6-lings were intentional. It's just pretty interesting, to say the least, that he did go for that opener. So yeah, we'll see if anything comes from it. I guess it was just him being defensive. I guess TY is a little bit known for, he does like to throw in proxies every now and then. We did see him proxy against Silky, for example. Well, no, not Silky, against Armani.
Yes,
Game
number 1. But that ended up being his downfall.
Yeah. Downfall gaming.
All the butterfly effect. Yeah. Why isn't that a team?
Butterfly effect?
Yeah. Or just Team Butterfly and they sign effect.
Alright.
Meanwhile, we were waiting for it, and now We're waiting for it, and now here it is, that Fusion Core being thrown down by TY.
Yeah, kind of similar opener, like again, really fast third CC, but behind it we do have that Fusion Core, so we will have BCs coming out across the map. It's on Armani to try and scout this. He is going in for an Overlord scout, and he does spot the 1-1-1, so he is aware at least of the potential opener. He does see that there's nothing being resourced as well, so you can deduce. Yeah,
it's probably going to be a Raven. If I'm looking at it from Armani's perspective.
It's gonna be a Raven. So yeah, Armani, he does throw down his Roach Warren to help deal with this as well, you know, to help deal with the Hellions that will be on the ground, the Queens for the BCs. Yeah, gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Ooh, a pretty fast Spire as well.
And that is just about the best response that Armani could really get. Whether we'll have to see how many of each unit he can really get out here. Armani can. Yeah. Because this is quite a bit of an investment, and you can run the risk of getting this tech of just not having the resources to really get your units out.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm really curious to see how TY plays this out, because for those of you who weren't here for TY versus Silky, TY did go for a specific opener, a specific style on this map against Silky, and this is looking to turn out pretty similarly.
Yeah, but TY is taking it quite a bit safer here, though. He did not teleport right into the main base, teleporting just in that sort of dead air location. Just trying to see what he can get done here.
Yeah, we'll see, as, you know, Yamato isn't quite done just yet. It's just the BC trying to find damage. The Hellions as well sharking around, trying to find a way in. And so far, not too many workers have gone down.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of queens up here. Armani actually splitting up his forces, or splitting up his queens rather, which is usually what you want to do. But again, it does also mean that he's sort of spreading himself out a little bit thin here. Did not lose that many drones. I mean, he's lost 7, but, you know, compare that to the previous series, it could have really gotten a lot worse for Armani here.
All the Hellions dove into the third base, and they did get a decent amount of kills, but the Roaches were there. They did clean it up, and yeah, in the end, only 8 drones went down. And I was really curious. I was looking at the production tab. I was really curious to see if we were going to see 2 more starports thrown down for mass BC again, but only 1 is thrown down. Ooh, even a nice scout here as well, just to make sure Armani knows exactly what is coming his way. And yeah, TY not opting to go for that mass Hellion BC style he did against Silky.
Yeah, instead it's just going to be a bunch of BC style. There needs to be a middle ground, right, between, like, something just below the tier of mass. Like, obviously not counting core units, so, like, you know, or something like, say, Ravens or something. You don't mass them, but you get maybe 4.
Yeah, we'll see how many BCs he gets before he stops production, or if he just keeps going, because again, he did invest in that Yamato. Yeah, and he's even, there we go, we do have another BC on the way as well, so not quite triple BC production, but double, you know, pretty high up there.
Also going once again for Blue Flame, which, yeah, it's a little bit of a repeat of what we've seen in TY versus Silky here. But we'll really have to see how much TY can get done against Armani here, who seems to have spread himself pretty well in terms of defenses.
Yeah, I love the way he's played this out. Again, he hasn't lost anywhere near as many workers as Silky did. He's already got the Spire, he's already got a good Corruptor count as well, so if he manages to find like a stray BC, like, it will be going down, or at least force to teleport. So yeah, Armani, he's situating himself quite nicely on his side of the map.
But it is time for TY to try to put a stop in this, or a wrench in those plans. BCs are now in the natural base, just trying to see what they can get done. The Spores acting as quite a bit of a deterrent. Does see the Spire, will he Yamato it? Instead goes for a Corruptor.
Yeah, and there are enough Corruptors here to deal with this, so they do all teleport away. Meanwhile, at the same time, looks like there was some damage is trying to be applied across the map, but the Roach Ravager does get forced back. And
interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what TY really had there. On the I guess the tanks were just in range to prevent the Roach Ravager from getting much done.
Yeah, the tanks, as well as, you know, the planetary as well. There's quite a lot of damage there. And ooh, interesting. We have some infestors being turned in here.
Neural's being researched, Light. Oh, I can see it so clearly.
Yeah, he's gonna neural the Hellions.
And then it can make them go zoom. Just like the Carbots animation.
I was gonna say just like Carbot. So interesting. We have TY. He opened with these BCs. He's actually not stopping BC production. He's continuing to pump out more and more. Jesus Christ!
And now Cyclones are being thrown in the mix. Like this is the classic BC mech that we've come to love. That have kind of fallen off of out of favor.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit concerned for Armani because on the one hand, I like the Infestors going for those Neurals, but there are just so many BCs. I imagine they're going to be Yamatoing those Infestors. Like, those are their high priority targets. So I don't know how long, like, the mind control is going to last for Armani.
Does Neural cancel Yamato? I feel like it might. I'm not sure on that one.
I don't think it does. I think if the Yamato gets casted, then it gets neuraled. I think it still goes off. I could be wrong. I mean, we may see here in this game.
Well, here's hoping. It's all for the cause of science. These Cyclones and Hellions are actually doing a ton of damage here. Centrifugal Hooks only now started getting research for Armani. So this is not quite the defense that you really want as a Zerg player. Baneling's just getting picked off with the Blue Flame.
Yeah. I mean, TY, he's trying to stop this base from going down. Armani, I feel like he does have enough here. The creep spread, again, still has much to be desired. It needs to be spread a little bit more. But so far, so good for him. Like, the map is being split in half, essentially.
That it is for the time being. Man, this ramp is so abusable right now for TY.
yeah, it's... I'm honestly surprised that Armani isn't going for the top left corner base. Instead, he's taking this a little bit more vulnerable one. Interesting.
Oh, the Banelings are trying to come in, but not quite getting that. They do manage to take out most of the Hellions, but that's really the... Okay, I was gonna say that's the lesser problem here, but... Yeah, now this is a lot of Zerglings looking to surround these Cyclones. The BCs do come in to save the day, and are they actually gonna finish the job here? That was really the Cyclones' job. And now, look at it, there's no cancel available for this base.
Yeah, and the base is just melting. It looks like it will be going down as the Corruptors are nowhere to be seen. Instead, the army of Armani is looking to try and deny this base. Oh my god, 3 CCs being created at once.
4 starport.
Jesus Christ, and we'll see how much damage gets done. It looks like the BCs are continuing their rampage to the north of the map. The Corruptors are finally here.
But here comes the TP back into the 4th base of TY here. Oh, the Bile's just a little bit mistimed.
Yeah.
Did not manage to take out the BC like they wanted to.
Yeah, I loved the idea, but yeah, just a little bit too early there, those Biles. And I mean, Armani, he does hold on to his base. He's trying to regain that base to the west-hand side. And oh, it looks like he catches a couple of these. Okay, he catches the CC.
Yeah. A little bit off guard there. It is starting to burn down. There's the caustic spray. Not going to be enough to really take it down, but it is burning, Light. Where's the repair?
Yeah, and it looks like TY, he's trying to establish himself here. There are a lot of Infestors waiting to pop out as well. They have not.
And this is a really good position here for TY. He's got his tech spread just about as well as he can right now. He's making sure to cover it. Once one tank goes down, there's another one to really cover it.
Yeah, where are the BCs?
Just chilling.
They're just chilling. Yo, we need you. Like, nah, we're good. We're good. There are too many Corruptors. We don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I know what everybody's complaining about.
Yeah, and it's a good call. Trading a base for a base, like he does manage to kill that exposed hatchery and now goes into the natural.
Yeah, there are a lot of spores here, but there is a bit of a timing here that TY can take advantage of. One BC is going to go down and force a recall on the rest. Then Roach Ravager Ling are starting to really move in. The Infestors are coming in, Light.
Oh, the mind control!
And there is some juicy Neurals. Vengeance and Neural, all of the BCs. And the Corruptors are in position. There's no TP available or recall available for these BCs now. Like, Armani was so patient with his Infestors. Now really getting quite a bit of payoff on them. But are we at that point where TY doesn't want, or are we at the point where TY is just actually not needing BCs? I got an idea in there.
I was about to say that was really nicely done there by Armani, but now, like, what's the plan with all these investors? He invested a lot into them, and I mean, Fungals aren't really what you want. Maybe he's gonna try and neural the Thors. I mean, that would be the best bet, to be honest, since there are a lot of Thors, and he wants to get into that Broodlord tech.
Exactly. This is gonna go either way, the engagement, depending on who fires first, or I guess who, yeah, basically who fires first. Will TY be able to snipe the Broodlords, or will Armani get those, neurals that he wants to get?
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how the engagement happens, as again, like, the air control does go in favor of Armani, and oh god, there's just so many Liberators now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is late game Terran if I've ever seen one. Liberator Thor. Not quite as common as Liberator Ghost back in the heyday, but
ooh, the
yeah, this is actually being very effective. Transfuses are helping a lot. These Thors are slowly getting targeted down. And, you know, the Liberators, they help out a little bit with the Broodlords, or the Broodlings, rather. But eventually, there comes a point where too many of them are going to be spawning in.
Yeah, at the same time, we do have this counterattack to the south, and it looks like the Banelings will be able to take down this planetary. They should.
Not focusing them, but TY's not repairing it, and here comes the flank. That's just insult to injury there.
Ooh,
and a couple of SCVs. Ouch.
Yeah.
That being said, TY is still on 80, so that may actually help him out. Clear supply for the army.
I mean, he still continues to produce SCVs, as TY is known for his high SCV count. You know, he can manage to lose some, as he has plenty to replace them. And here we have Armani again, still maxed out. Both players maxed out. He's trying to engage with this army, but there are just so many Thors here.
But the Blinding Cloud, so absolutely key here. The Corruptor's not quite in position to take advantage of this and snipe out the Liberators.
Yeah, and it looks like the fourth one is going down. There are only 2 left.
And here come the Neurals Light. The Thors are in such a bad position right now. The Queens moving on in, and this does actually worry me a little bit for Armani, to be honest. Like, as pulling the Queens, that's a bit of a commitment. But
yeah,
looks like it was a calculated one. Look at the army supply difference.
The only answer here are these 2 Thors at the moment. 46 SCVs are going down. There's a league run by at the 3rd base as well, and it looks like TY won't be able to run that Royal Road. It looks like Armani just has too much.
That he does rip the rematch hype, but man, this is looking a little bit insane. Like, this is looking like Heart of Swarm cinematic.
It looks like Armani is going to be able to take out the GL champion.
68 SCVs right now towards the end there.
Yeah, yeah, like those run-bys, like the base went down. That was insane, and Armani takes out one of the best Terran players in the world.
Absolutely. I would argue the best Terran player in the world right now. As well as the top-rated caster player. Is that a word? Caster player?
Yeah. The caster player himself. Armani 2-1s TY. And just like that, everything's up in the air. I'm just gonna have to quickly refresh the bracket. Who won between Stats and Solar?
That has not been updated yet.
Oh, interesting.
But we do see what our lower bracket or under bracket, no, lower bracket, no, one of our semifinals tonight is in fact going to be Trap versus Cure, a TVP, and I don't remember how often these two players play against each other. But that's something. No, and yeah, now I remember. They played against each other. They played against each other quite a bit in ESL Open Cup. They often meet each other in the finals there, and I think Trap is one. Their head-to-head record, Trap has one series ahead of Cure. But yeah, this is kind of going to be the tiebreaker.